Hi friends, it's Linda from Richter Stitcher. This is my Flosstube episode 18. It is September the 8th. The last time I recorded was on the 7th of August, so a lot has happened between then and now, so I'm not sure how long this video will be, but and what order. I mean, I know I'm a little scattered usually on my floss tubes, but I like to document all the things that I do in these floss tubes and share with you the fun that I have. I think I mentioned last month was anniversary 40 years with my husband, as well as my 58th birthday. So I'm 58 on the 15th of last month, and it's just kind of been a whirlwind between. But we have Labor Day was another holiday that's happened, and just a lot of crafting going on, as well as grandbaby, loving the time that I'm having with her, and seeing family. Got to see them a little bit this past month as well, and do a little bit of celebrating. But it is September, and we are in the midst of Sampler September, so I'm going to share a little bit of that. A lot of bit of haul, because that seems to still happen, especially with a birthday and anniversary. All the things. I'll put life updates pretty much in my video and pics at the end. Just it kind of flows that way, it seems. I'm just gonna look down a little bit. I'm using my Happy Planner. It's really been helpful for me to keep track in the month what I do, what I buy, and I'm kind of fill it in quite a bit. So this last month, like I said, has been a little crazy. So this is kind of my notes when I look down and things. That's kind of what I'm looking at, is making sure I share the things that all happened. So like I said, we recorded on the 7th of last month, and so that's kind of where I'm going to start. That day was a Monday, and I actually went and met one of my friends in McKinney. Always a good day when I can go to McKinney, because that's the closest. I guess it's considered a needle workshop. They have lots of fibers, yarn, and sewing and material, so you can actually go there and sit and knit or crochet or whatever hobby you have. So that's kind of what we did. We met over there, had lunch, and before lunch we sat and I knitted. So that's kind of what I want to share first, is the project that I'm working on in there. I haven't knitted in a long time. This project particularly that I'm going to share, I started in 2021, so a couple years ago, and I used to sit and stitch with a friend from church at the time, and that's where I got the pattern. She shared it with me. It's a Mary Maxim pattern, which is a brand of yarn that dyer of yarn, I'm pretty sure, and that's where I got the pattern. It doesn't have a name on it though. It's just a shawl pattern. I'm not sure why the name isn't on here. So I'm using fairly thick needles, and they're on I don't know what you call them. They're tied together, so I am using that, and this is how far I've gotten. So that's kind of why I want to document where I'm at and where I'm going with it. So hopefully I can get a little bit done each month on it. So it's basic stitches that I'm using, garter stitch, and I'm trying to think what else. It's just knit stitch as well as the garter stitch. So just going back and forth. So I'm hoping to pick it back up easily. When I picked it up the first time, I couldn't remember why I had my little keeper over here, but that's the decrease side. So I've got the yarn in here, and I've got another skein of that if I need it. Just depends on how big I want it to go. So every once in a while I put it on my back to see how long I want to go with it. But it looks pretty straight. I've had to pull out a few just to remember back and forth. And then somehow I lose count, so you have to count your stitches every once in a while, make sure you don't drop a stitch. So that's hopefully going to get a little further as I go. So that's the one project that I brought when we met in McKinney with my friend, and I worked on that. And I think I'll slip in here just a couple things that were happy mail or happy gifts, I guess. She bought me a little needle keeper. I've not seen these before, and of course she got it in my color. And these are for smaller needles, of course, but you just slip them in there and keep them handy, is what that is. They call it the magic wand. So that was a nice little gift. And then she also gifted me a little bee needle keep that you just, it's got a little magnet in the bottom, and I keep some cross stitch needles and pins in there. That was a very sweet gift that she gave to me while we were out. So that's the knitting. Maybe I'll insert here the rest of my haul, and then when we come back, we can share the ones that I don't think will be in the video, but let's do that real quick, and I'll be right back. Hi friends, this is the haul portion of my floss tube, and I'm just gonna share what I've purchased in the last month, and hopefully I won't have to put too many videos in here, but I wanted to start with my first purchase it's from Amazon, a wireless mic. I finally got a wireless mic thanks to Katie from So Tattered. She posted, I think it was on Instagram, that her husband purchased a couple floss tube type things that would help her recordings. So I had to reach out to her and find out where she got it and what the make was. But it's a Maybesta. So hopefully when I upload this recording, there won't be any sound issues, because I did purchase one a while back that was cordless or wireless, but I had some comments that people were saying they couldn't hear. And then I went back to my corded mic and it was fine. So I didn't pay very much for that one. Oops, forgot to stop my clock. Let me do that real quick. Just for a few minutes till we get this recording done. But that first one was like not even $15 if I recall. I'll have to put down in the notes how much this one was on Amazon, or you can look it up. Like I said, it's Maybesta or Maybesta, I think is how you say it. But it is a wireless mic, and what I like about it is it shows it comes with two microphones, your receiver, and then a cable to charge them. So let's hope this one works. But this is my first time using it during this video clip. So that was an Amazon purchase. And I also ordered a couple more sulky 12 weight cotton petites in these colors. So I just trying to collect a little more of the flosses, so when I kit things up. I like these ones because you only have to use one strand of floss, and having a variety of colors is good. And so I keep those in those acrylic drawers that I've shown before in the past. So that was a purchase. What also happened during that time was, let's see, it was beginning of August pretty much, and I got a flyer, and I get them in the mail because I went to the quilt shows before. So the Quilt Plano was happening here in Texas. So I allotted a day and said, okay, I'm going to go on this Friday. And it's only a 2-day event is what it was, but I just like to look at the quilts and look around at the different booths that they have. And of course, you have to get some things. So I had a little bit of cash that I could spend, so I went ahead and found a couple items there that I was going to share. A lot of people have been showing their collections of like tomatoes and things, and I have a small little pink one. I didn't bring it in here, but I can insert pictures and do that. But it has the little emery on the side, so I love red too, so I had to get me a little red tomato at one of the booths. I think it was only, it says $2.69, but I'm going to attempt to make one as well, only because the friend that I went with, she bought me a happy gift, happy mail gift kind of a thing, and it's going to be a fall pumpkin pincushion kit. So everything came in here, and that's going to be my first attempt. So that was a kindness gift that she purchased at one of the quilt booths, which was actually boxcar quilts that we went to our retreat last month, day retreat. That's where she found this, and she bought it for me. So I thought that was very, very sweet of her to do that. So that was my first pincushion kit. And hopefully it'll turn out. So I need to get busy on some of these things, especially since it's middle of the August right now. It'll be September, and that's kind of when I start to get my decor for fall and stuff out. So I'd love to have that finished for that. And then I've been wanting to make one of these, but when I found this color, I decided just to go ahead and purchase it. I think it was $15. And what it is it's a little pin cushion also. Put your needles here, but it's heavy, and you set it like if you're at a table, and then this velcros to the side, and it's like your little fort box, or you can use it near your sewing machine. But you know, my plan is when I go away to take it with me and have somewhere to put my threads and things. And lately I've been doing hand stitching, so having this little pin cushion up here for my needles and things and pins will be perfect. And of course I love the color, so I've seen them before on other people sharing, you know, for their retreat stash and stuff, what they take. So I was really pleased to find this at the quilt show. So those were my purchases from there. I'll go to just other purchases that I made. On Wednesdays I go away, so they have like a square that has different stores, and there was an antique shop that I went into and purchased these items. And my first Christmas purchase for the year, but it's one of the ones that you put batteries in and it lights up. So I have a collection of snowmen, so this will go either on a mantle or somewhere when I start decorating for Christmas. But it was only like $6 and a quarter is what it said. So the store that I found it at, it was actually going out of business. So yeah, that's what it says, $6.25. So this will be a cute little addition. You just turn it on and put the batteries in, and I have rechargeable batteries, so I can recharge them when they go out, not have to worry about replacing batteries all the time. But with the cardinal and the snowmen, so that was a purchase from one of the stores going out of business. Everything was, I mean, I think their last day is coming up on Saturday, actually. Today, by the way, is August the 16th, the day after my birthday. So I do have some birthday gifts that were given to me that I'll share here in a minute. Always find fabrics when I go into antique stores. So this was $3, and I'm thinking I can make some cute things with this. I just love the print. They're all little squares. They're all the same, but it's fairly large, probably a yard maybe. What's the line? It says it's a, and I have never heard of this line before, Joan Kessler for Concord Fabrics. And it's crafted with pride in the USA, but 100% cotton. So I am sure I can use this for something. So there's quite a bit there. So I just like the different colors in there, and the blues and the pinks. Oops, Sorry about that. My microphone got caught on there. And then the other fabric, I seen it and I picked it up because I was wanting to make some cat and dog items for Christmas gifts that are coming, and this one looks like it's going to be a pillow. It's got a little bit of a border here with little puppies and kitties, but one side is pups and then the other side is a cat. So I think that will probably end up being a pillow, but see if I can't do something with that. So that was $3 as well. Pick that up. And I've mentioned before I'm doing the hand stitching with Susan Stanley for doll quilt. So I've been on the hunt for a doll bed to use it with, and I actually found this one at the antique shop that I was at for $5. I mean, it needs a little TLC. I'll need to clean it and maybe even repaint it, but maybe sand it down. But I thought it was the perfect size for my grandbaby, so that was another purchase. It was just stuck in the corner, and I think I'd been in that store once before and seen it, but it had stuff all in it. And I just went ahead with the $5 tag on it and said, I'm going to go ahead and get it. And see, that'll need some glue. But I think I can fix it up nice. And once that doll quilt's done, put a little board down in the bottom. And she has a baby doll that I'm going to be giving her for Christmas. So this will be perfect. I'm going to set this over here. So that will need a little bit of work, but I will get it there by Christmas. Actually, her birthday's in January, so I have till January to get that one done. And then lastly, from that shop, I found this bowl because I've been wanting to find something to put my smalls in once I start finishing some smalls, especially the ones that I keep myself. And when I seen this bowl, it kind of reminded me of a few patterns that I've seen for cross stitch, but it's got like sheep and houses, and I love the look of it. And I was really surprised that it wasn't more than it was. I think I paid $8.50 for this bowl, and that'll have some cute finishes in it, I'm hoping, here in the next year. But with the houses, I love houses, so, and the countryside with the grass kind of reminded me of a few samplers that I've seen. And the star's perfect for Texas, so I just thought that was cute. So I picked that one up as well at that store. I think when I left, I only spent $21 for those 4 things. This one came from a different store, but that was the store that was going out of business. And I didn't bring it in here, but I will insert pictures. I've been looking for like an old looking kind of ladder to hang some of my quilt tops, and as I'm finishing some of my quilts, I want to be able to hang them up so I can see them. And the store that was going out of business, they were selling everything. So they had their display racks and things that they had all of their store items sitting on, and they were actually for sale. And this one was just black cast iron kind of look to it, but the racks you could fold in and out. So you have options to either have it fold flat and just lean it against a wall, or you can use the racks to hang things on. So I was shocked that they just wanted $20 for it. So they actually had 2, but I only needed 1 because I really don't have a whole lot of space in here. But I've moved my light over to my desk, so there's a space on the wall over here that I think I can lean it against there. And I'll take pictures and insert those in this Flosstube video so you can see what that looks like. It probably won't have any quilts on it yet because, like I said, I'm in process of making them, but I wanted to have somewhere to put them as I'm making them. So that will be fun. And I don't know if my mother's quilt that she gave me will fit on it because it's pretty thick. But if I just use the flimsy tops before I quilt them and hang them there until I can actually get them quilted, I think it'll make a nice display, and I won't have to keep them in the boxes as I finish them. They'll be able to hang. So I was really excited to find that. I probably will end up painting it though. I'm not sure of the color, but I mean, black probably would go okay, but with all these colors in here, I think painting it would probably make it look a little bit better, leaning against the area. And if I get it in here and it doesn't fit, I will have to rethink some things probably, but I did want to find something to have those items as I finish things, because my goal is to, like I said, make a quilt for my grandbaby every year. And as I'm working on them, I'll have somewhere to put them as they're growing. So that was a fun find today as well. And thanks to a friend that I was shopping with, she said, "Hey, did you see these?" And I, of course, went over there and I was like, "This is perfect." And I did love the fact that you have options either to fold it up and lean it, or you can spread it out like a V and have both sides being used. But for now, I think I'll lean it against the wall for my purposes. I think also I met a friend to go to a knitting shop here near us in McKinney, and I found a couple things there. We sat and stitched for a little while, and then looked around the shop, and I found a few things that I was going to share with you. Of course, I've been making cross-stitch bags for my projects, and so they had this soft and stable. I went ahead and got another pack of that because I like the firmness of this when you put it into a project bag. They make great bags, so I went ahead and got another one of those. And then, of course, I had to find, they had some fabrics in there, ones that were on sale in their little bins, so I picked up a couple of those. This is like a quarter of a yard for $1.50. Got little daisies on it. And this one is almost a half a yard for $2.94. So I just thought that would make a cute little bag that I can use that soft and stable with. And then this one is that line from Chelsea and, oh, I can't think of their names offhand. I'll put it down below, but it's a Riley Blake fabric. And I watch her YouTubes all the time. Chelsea, oh man, that's going to bug me. I hate when I forget people's names. Yeah, I can't think of it, but it'll be below. But it's got the little crosses on it, and it was a different color that I have, but I've shared before this line in the colors that I have. So I think this is a half a yard that I purchased from, it's called McKinney Knittery. They have an assortment of things between yarns and fabrics and a few flosses. You can get Weeks Dye Works and some fabrics for cross stitch as well. So I did that, as well as another line that caught my eye was, oh, names today are just awful. Can't think of what these were called, and some of them don't have them. Oh, maybe they do. Yes, I found it. Yay! Rustic Gatherings by Primitive Gatherings. So they had a couple that I love black and white. So when I seen these, I had to get, this is a full yard of that pattern. So sweet color, as well as this one that has zippers on it. So I thought this would be perfect for a bag as well. And it's their black and white. Looking to see if it's the same line. I'm pretty sure it is. Nope, this is a different one. This is called Old Maid J. Wrecker Fresh or Frisch. That they had zippers on them. That's the main reason I picked it up. So I got another yard of that. So a couple yards of some fabrics in black and white that I can use in my stash. And those all came from the McKinney Knittery here in Texas. So those were fun finds. And then I had mentioned, or I had seen on a Flosstube think it was Lisa from Lost in Stitches. She was doing this sale, and I had already started the Blackbird one for her birthday sale, but this is the one she's doing, and I have a friend that I stitch with on Wednesdays that is letting me borrow it, and I think I want to start this one as well as the other Blackbird one that I started, which is a very small top that I'm doing. But the strawberry fields with the houses, I was like, I gotta kit that one up. So she's letting me borrow this one, and I've started to kit it up. I think right now I'm struggling with what fabric to use, because I don't know if I can find the called for this one is a Confederate Gray by Weeks Dye Works, a 32 count. So I'm basically just looking for a 32 count that looks similar. And I haven't had any luck yet, but I have started collecting the flosses. Probably going to do the DMCs mostly. And if I have some silks that I can convert myself in my closet, I'll do that. But that's kind of in process. But I wanted to share that I had someone let me borrow that pattern, and I'll get that back to her once I get that stitched. So that was very kind. A couple other kindnesses are also from the knitting and the hooking group that I go to. A lot of these I don't do like punch needle, and that's what a lot of these are. So she told me to go ahead and take them, and I'll probably be passing the stash for that. I know a few floss tubers that you can mail them to them, and they'll give them away in their giveaways, because I haven't done giveaways yet. Not sure if I'll do that or not, but I was just going to run through these quickly and show you what patterns they are, and I'll let you know who I send them to, and you can maybe watch their floss tubes and see if you're interested in them. Maybe you'll get them from those floss tubers. But this one's called Funky Friends Franklin, and it's for punch needle embroidery. A little puppy dog. And then this one's called Miss Liberty. I'm not sure who designs these. It says Colleen Culver, but I think the name of her company is called Granny Taught Me How. So these are cute. And this one is a little rabbit called Preston by the same designer. So these will probably be, and these are like everything's in there. I can feel that, the patterns in there. I don't know if the yarn is, but the special pieces that are with it. It says the needle, and I'm trying to think. In the packet is a pin, the felt backing, and the instructions. So that's, yeah, pretty much what's in all of these. So that was the rabbit. Then this one, I'm assuming that's a sheep called Quintilla. But yeah, the felt backing, a 1 1/4 inch pin is with it, as well as the instructions. Then this one is what is that called? Jake the bird, I guess. And then, of course, Halloween's coming, and this one's called Hazel's Night Out. This one just has the pattern on the fabric and the instructions. This one is Ladies First. They're little roosters, I guess, and that's also just the pattern on fabric. And then this one is St. Valentine's, as well as the pattern on fabric. And then she said to go ahead and keep the ones, because I do hook rugs, so I might do this dog one. It's a hooked on rugs dog pattern. And then she had some magazines and books that I went through and picked which ones I thought were cute. This one's called, it's like a sewing bag by Kindred Spirits, but it's called Sewing Crow. So for the fall, I thought these would be kind of cute to do. but I've heard of Kindred Spirits, but it gives all the instructions and the pattern is unfolded. So yeah, I guess a lot of it would be applique, which I've been wanting to try. So this would be a cute one. She had an extra little hoop, so I went ahead and took that. And then these were a few more punch needle. Yeah, I think I'm looking to make sure they're all punch needle. Yeah, these ones are all punch needle as well. This one's a good one for fall called Pumpkins of Plenty. That's just the pattern on fabric. This one's called My Little Sheepy. And this one has a pin back, the instructions, and the fabric is ready for punching. And then this one is Threads That Bind by Folk Art Sampler. Kind of reminded me of Teresa Kogut a little bit. So I'll be sending these off, like I said, and somebody will share them. This one has the fabric called Tree of Life. I might be keeping that one, I'm not sure. We shall see. And then the magazines that she had, I'll be probably keeping. This one is a So Crafty from the Vintage Workshop. It's just clip art and like self-loading. You can install and put them on your computer. But there's all kinds of, here on the back, the different clip arts that you can use. I want to kind of learn how to print them, use them as labels and things like that. And then another book was designer style jewelry, because I do make like scissor fobs and things. So this just had a bunch of, jewelry and things that you can make. On the cover, earrings and bracelets. Kind of helped me get into more beading, because I have a few projects that require beading and I've not done any. So hopefully that will not be too difficult. Then this is a magazine, Making Thrifting for Crochet, for a coin purse, pillows. So I've just been kind of collecting magazines that have cute patterns in them to look for. Look at this embroidery. It's so fun. But this has a little coin purse on the front still, and I guess the supplies are in there. Stitched together a super cute penny purse. So it includes the clasp, so that'll be kind of neat to do. And then another quilting book called Quick Quilts from the Heart. It's a leisure arts, and it's pretty thick, so quite a few quilts in there that'll be fun. Oxmoor House is who that's by. So I mean, these 1982. Look at this picture. So that was a fun one. I totally thank you so much for these. These will be fun to look through. And then this one is Our Best Seasonal Quilts from Fons and Porter. I used to watch them on television a lot, but there's some fall. They're all seasons, so it'll be just kind of fun. I'll show you the back here. To seasonally look at some sailboats or leaves, or I know I have some from Pat Sloan that I want to start too, but it's just fun to have these patterns. And this one's for 4th of July, just so fun. So those were the books that I received from one of the ladies at the crafting thing that I do on Wednesdays. And like I said, yesterday was my birthday, so we celebrated today actually with a friend made a cake, and it was just fun to visit, and she brought me a little gift, so I'll share that as my last piece of haul for this segment. And if there's more before I do my floss tube, I will insert it. So I had been starting collecting some flosses and going through the ones that my mother sent me. You can see some of the older ones have kinks, but it still works with the kinks. And so down here on this this side over here is just miscellaneous flosses. So I've started collecting Cosmo, and she knew that I was doing that, so she found a blue one because she knows my favorite color is blues. So this one is a Cosmo, so I will add a little ring and add that to my collection there. So it's been fun to find different flosses that way. And then she found some washi tape that has little sweet little bees on it. And I didn't realize, but I guess you can use this on your cross stitch patterns to kind of help keep your, instead of constantly looking back and forth, you can pick it up and take it off and keep moving it on your pattern so you can follow along a little easier. So I'm going to have to start doing that. I think it might help me because I find myself counting a lot and going back. And then in this little bag, she just put a bunch of different laces for finishing. I just thought that was so sweet. I do have quite a few ribbons and things that I decided to store in this unit back here. And I found some white and black lace, so I'll just add this to my collection of laces for finishing. And sometimes I put them on project bags too, so some of these are wider so that you can use them on things like that. So that was a sweet gift. This was the card she gave me. Very sweet friend. I really enjoyed getting to know her. Her name is Nancy. This is a little pin keep needle box, which also has a little bee on it. And I can either store needles in there, or I was thinking beads, because she also bought me my first, I don't know what you call it, Mill Hill kit. I've never had a Mill Hill kit, and everything comes in it. So sweet. But it's a little Christmas candlelight winter holiday. So that was very sweet. So I have my first Mill Hill kit. I'm just going to have to learn how to bead. So that's even with the jewelry and stuff. I do enjoy that kind of stuff, the little things. So there's a magnet, you can make a needle minder out of it. So I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. But my first Mill Hill kit came today, so that was fun to see. And then we had some fabrics that she found that I think they're fat quarters, if I'm not mistaken, but they have sweet little butterflies on them. So to add to my stash, might have to make a project bag with that. That's just so sweet. Maybe give one to her. She's just been a sweet friend. Thank you, Nancy. That was very sweet of you to think of me that way. So I think that's it for the haul right now. And if there's more, I'll add it to the end of this clip. But thank you for following along, and we will see you again soon. Hi, friends. Haul portion of the program for video 17 of my floss tube. I'd had a little bit of fun this past week. What is today? Today is August the 26th. Yeah, Friday. Or no, not 26th, 25th. Yeah, today's the 25th. I'm looking at my calendar right in front of me. Anyway, I probably will have my video up in the next week or so, week and a half, first week in September. So this will be just a snippet, like I mentioned in my last floss tube of haul. That way I don't have to stand and share everything, and it can be put away and not get to sit out for a whole month before I can actually use some of this stuff. But a few things from Amazon, a few things from a thrift store, and I think that's, yeah, I think I shared my quilt show last month. Pretty sure I did mention going to, or maybe I didn't. It's probably in this video. See, I get confused since I have to go a whole month between videos. But anyway, we'll get started. The craft Wednesdays that I go to at the quilt shop, we were sitting there last week and just going about
you know, everybody has their own crafts that they're doing. Some are sewing, some are rug hooking, some are cross stitching. This time, this past week, it's been different every week, but since I had an anniversary in August for our 40th, I was focused on the finish that I mentioned, because it's a gift for my husband. So I started to try and finish a pillow with my cross stitch, and that's kind of what I was working on this past week when we were doing that. And people come in and out of the craft store, and they see a group sitting in the back and the owners always say, go ahead and go back and look at the quilts on the walls, and letting them know that the people back there aren't doing anything important per se, like a meeting or anything, so they were free to roam. And one of the men came in with his wife, I guess she was shopping, and he held up this what looked like a doily to me, but come to find out afterwards from the ladies after we talked about it, I guess it's called tatting. I don't know anything about it. I crochet, so I have a feeling it's done with a very small needle. But he was holding this up, and he said he'd like to just pass it on to somebody. They were going through their things at their home, and I guess he had heard that there was a group of ladies that crafted in the back, and he was offering it to anybody. So all the ladies passed it around and looked at it, and he said it's free. So of course, after everybody looked at it, for some reason the ladies chose me to take it, so I said sure. And noticing a few of the things on here, you know, need to be fixed, so I guess I'll be doing some research on how I could possibly finish it. But it is a very unique, it looks like a doily to me. You'd set it on a table, but I am all things Victorian, so that's kind of what it reminded me of, and you know, antique kind of. But it does look like a very small needle was used, and there's a few tears. So I need to find somebody either that knows what tatting is, or YouTube's great for researching things, so I will be doing that. But that was a gifted item that I was given this past month, so I thought I'd share that with you. Not something I'll probably look into starting myself, but having a unique piece like this is kind of neat, and I can see the little loops in there, and just kind of reminds me of crochet. But was kind of tickled to have received that this last month. Couple Amazon purchases that I'll go through real quick, and I don't know if you all do this, but I put things in my cart, and sometimes I save it for later, and then thinking that I didn't put it in my cart, I go to my save for later and say add to cart. So this particular purchase was for my serger, because I'm noticing the threads are getting not super low, but low enough to where I wanted to have excuse me, a second set of threads for the serger. And I'm not too particular with the serger, because I just edge my fabrics with the serger, so it's not like it's going into a quilt or anything. So I didn't have to have, you know, like Orfill or, you know, 100% cotton. I wasn't too concerned about that. So when I seen these on Amazon, I went ahead and said, of course, it'll make a cute border because, you know, the color. But they were sets of 4, and it just says Mandala Crafts, Mandala, I think is how you say it, sewing thread, and I'm not sure if it's 100% cotton. It's 6,000 yards a spool, so I think that'll last me a little while. But it is polyester thread, is what it says, 100% polyester. So like I said, I usually just use it to border my cross-stitch fabrics so that they don't fray. So I got one, and then when they came, of course, like I said, there was a second set. So I have plenty of thread for a while. I guess I added it to my cart and didn't realize I did it twice. So I think I've done that a couple times on some things. So that was another purchase. I'll set it back here. So I'll have to store those somewhere until the white that I have on there is used up. And it's still not threaded correctly. So I guess it's going to take me a little while to figure that out. I do have a DVD I can watch and individually do each needle on the threader, but that's another thing that I need to do, but went ahead and got the threads for that. And then the other Amazon purchase was Primitive Gathering. This has really caught my eye, especially the fall colors. So Rustic Gatherings is the name of the pattern. So I went ahead and purchased layer cake for that because I would love to make a fall quilt. Like I said in the past, I am a seasonal decorator, so my goal is to have a seasonal quilt made for each year or each season. So that was a Amazon purchase, and you probably all know that you can get points when you use your Prime. So there was a good $30 in there for that. So for the price of this, I think I got it for $10 or $11, which I was very pleased with. So I like to find things like that when I have enough points to where I can get it a lot cheaper, because normally it would have costed like $44 or $45, but $11 was worth it for me because that will make a nice size quilt. And I just love the colors that this Rustic Gatherings group has. So I'll be looking to find more pre-cuts. And I think if I hadn't mentioned it before in my last or in this floss tube that I'm putting together, I kind of redid a lot of my fabrics. I thought I was going to do it by color and use these bins that are under my craft table and put like reds and blues, but as I was sorting through all of my fabrics the last month, I notice I have a lot of pre-cuts, and I purchased books for quilts and things that are make a quilt with a half-yard cut or make a quilt with a pre-cut. So I kind of redid how I organized my fabrics. So a lot of them are like in a section in my craft room. I have like a bookshelf has all half-yard cuts in them. The bookshelf behind this this cutting table, I put all my fat quarters. In the table itself, I have miscellaneous fabrics. Some of them are like scrap fabrics that people have given me. Some of those are by color, but for the most part, I'm labeling them 2-yard bins, and then there's another one that's 3 to 5-yard bins for backings and things like that. So I'm kind of rearranging how I'm labeling them, so I know that, okay, this bin is all my backings that I'm using, and I can just go there if I'm finishing up a quilt and say, okay, my backings should be in here that I've purchased for the quilt that I want to make. So that's kind of what I've done with the fabrics the last month. So that's kind of taken me a little bit of time. So some of the finishes I was planning didn't get done. The other haul that I have is from a thrift store that I was going to, because you've probably all seen the boxes that everybody's making for little sewing kits to take on travel or have near their stitchy spots. So I've been trying to find one with a zipper that would hold like a small hoop, and just haven't had any luck. So I think I'm probably going to give up on that little search, because I came home from the thrift store, and I think I mentioned in the video, I have a box that I've had since high school that I want to try to use for here at the house, and then just a small cardboard with a handle box that I came up with that's got flowers on it, that if I can redo the inside with some rickrack and stuff, I think I can repurpose it to use for on the go when it comes to just a small sewing box. The one I have right now is the one that my mother gave me. It's a little bit bigger and bulky, but I'll share in my floss tube the one that I'm hoping to redo and hopefully finish in the next month. I don't know, I need some water is what I'm thinking. It's just been a long day, I guess, maybe. But the 3 items that I found at the craft store kind of have to do with storage of stitchy things as well as finishing. I probably will paint this one, but for the $4 that I purchased, I thought this would be perfect to sit off to a side table with, needles or, small things that I use. Even my scissors could sit in one of these trays. So I found that for $4, and I thought that was a good find because it is wood. But the craft store that I went to, I think was called Thrift Giant. So I don't know if they're just a local shop, but we have a couple of them in the area, and so it was really big in there. So I spent a little while searching around for things, like I said, for a box, but didn't have any luck with that box. But I have also mentioned the threads and things that I'm wanting to collect, different silks and things. I found this other little box here that I thought I would sit somewhere in here. Figure out where, but it will be repainted because I'm not crazy about the leopard or zebra print that's on the front, but it has 4 drawers. I'll probably leave the knobs the multicolor, but thinking about painting the actual box. This was also $4, which I thought was a great find, and the drawers themselves they have a pink lining in them, so I thought this would be cute for either the spools or silk flosses that I'm using, either near a stitchy spot or somewhere in here to store. And this actually has the little ring. I guess it was a jewelry box is what it looks like, so I could use that for holding small things. And then these ones have the little squares in them. So in a sense I did find a box, but not for travel. It will be for storage purposes. I'm always looking for things to store my stuff in, so this will get painted. But for $4, I thought that was a great find as well. And then as for finishing, I found this little easel, and I thought once I get some things finished, for $2 is all I spent, this will make a nice little easel. So everything was wood that I found, and $10 is pretty much what I spent on these 3 items total. So I thought that was a good find. So that will be the little snippet that I put in there. Oh, this was one last thing. An Amazon find, like I said, for the flosses. I wanted to try and find pearl cottons, more of them, and these are in the skeins. So this green one is what I chose. So getting one at a time is kind of what I'll have to do, but this one is a size 5 pearl cotton. So right now I have a few that are size 8s and 12s, so they're a little thinner. Thinking these will be a little thicker. I'm not sure. I haven't used them before, but they are DMC. So that was another purchase. So those are the items that came in this last week of August. So hopefully as I insert these, it'll make sense, but I wanted to pre-record all these haul videos ahead of time so that I'm just not spending that time during my actual floss tube. So we will get back to that, or this might be at the end of the video, I'm not sure, but I appreciate you following, and we will see you again soon. Not sure if I've mentioned in the other haul videos or not, a couple of happy mail things that happened. One was an email for my birthday. Came a gift from my husband, and he kind of it wasn't on my birthday, it was a couple days before, because he wanted to get me something, and so he just came out and flatly asked me, where do I spend most of my money on crafty things? So of course I could have told him many places, but I guess I was thinking, where would I be able to get maybe the most things, because I wasn't sure how much he was planning on giving me either. So I thought, well, I like to be frugal, so I wanted to think of somewhere that I could easily find things as well. So I told him 1, 2, 3 stitch. So I got that email on my birthday from him. So thank you, sweetheart. So he just told me he knows I always want to buy things. So I think it was $150. So I did actually spend a little bit of it already. always something I see when I'm watching a floss tube that comes out, and I go and put it in my cart. So I actually went to my wish list and seen all the different things that I had put in there in the past and thought, well, which ones would I really actually think about doing? And I think I came up with, I think it was $70 worth of stuff. So I went ahead and purchased that. So whether or not it'll be in this floss tube haul videos when they come up on the floss tube, I'm not sure how quickly I'll get them, but there's some fabrics and some cross stitch patterns that, yeah, I thought I really would like to have in my collection, as well as if I want to start them right away. We'll see when they arrive. They're not kits, so I will have to kit them up with some flosses. So that was a nice happy mail that I got for my birthday. And then my uncle, he lives in Tennessee. He always sends me something, but he really shocked me and sent me a check for $200. So I haven't cashed it yet, because what I'm really thinking I'd like to do, because I've mentioned on here before, I'd love to go to a retreat. Probably won't be out of state, but something local. And I'm going to keep my ears and eyes open. But I think I'm going to start a retreat fund, and that'll be my first installation of, having the money so that I can actually sign up for one when I hear about it. So that was a very, very happy mail that I received for my birthday. And then trying to think what else there was. I've mentioned in a few of my haul that I had a friend give me some gifts, so I'm not going to mention those again. I did receive something, I think it was this morning, a second set of sulky. I think it's 12 weight. I took my glasses off, but yeah, I think it's the 12 weight sulky cotton petites. So I wanted the neutral, more the whites and the lighter ones, because I didn't have a whole lot of the grays and the whites, so I went ahead and purchased a second set. So now I'm starting to get a nice collection, so that when I do get these patterns, I can maybe kit them up with some sulky threads. So that was another haul that I got. It has been a fun month, a busy one, but with our anniversary, we've done quite a few things out and about. We tend to eat out a lot, especially in the month of August, because of all the events that happen. I mean, my husband's taken me to breakfast, and we like to find new venues around here that we can enjoy. So we've been to a couple of those. So I've been spoiled a lot this past month, and I mean, I am very blessed, and I am very grateful for the family that I have, and those that are in my life, friends as well. They've just flowered me with so many sweet things, and the memories that we're making as family and friends has been special. So I just wanted to put that in there as well. And I think when I actually make the floss tube and sit down and look through all the things that's happened this past month, I'll mention a lot more life updates, but for now we'll call that good for the haul portion. I think like I said, ordered some things, so whether or not they come in the next few days before I end up recording, I'll slip it in. But that's kind of the way I think I'm going to have to do my floss tubes. I also want to probably try and mention those that I watch and listen to, maybe highlight one that's really stuck out in the month that I've watched. But I do tend to watch quite a few floss tubes. It is my TV anymore. So during the day, I just tend to put my earbuds in, and if I get a notification from the ones that I've subscribed to, I tend to go click on it and watch it immediately. Since I am home during the day, I have that option to do that most days. So it is a fun way to just stay connected for me, and that's what I love about this community. It's just, it keeps me active, and I love doing it. So until next time, we will put this in Flosstube 18, I think is what this one is, and we will see you soon. Okay, I moved my mic. I'm sorry from before. I kept hitting it, I think, because I had it on me. So I have it in front of me, and I hope you can hear. But we will get back to some of the other things. If you could see what's around me, you would probably just wow, because it's been a long month. So we left off with the knitting and that project. So let's move to some of the things that got done that week of the 7th of August. We had, or I knew I had an anniversary coming, so I wanted to pull out a project that hands-on design Kathy had made. It was a freebie. Didn't actually bring the pattern because I think I put it away since then because I finished the project. So I'll share the actual object that I thought turned out really cute. It took me a few days after our anniversary, which was the end of August, to actually get it all stitched up and put together, but I did have it stuffed, and I had the, what do you call it, the trim all pinned when I gave it to my husband, which I think he enjoys, and now I have a nice pillow finish to set out with our um, pics from our anniversary and our wedding and things. So that's kind of the plan, is to set that on there. But this is how it was finished. Make sure you're in frame. Don't know how close I should get, but what I ended up doing is, of course, I stuffed it in the back, and I actually sewed this on. That's where I put all the, what I used was the poly, I forget what they're called. They're little beads, little plastic beads. Plus I used the furry stuff, the batting, the white cottony stuff. Stuffed it so that there's a little bit of weight to it. And I might have shared in the video previously my little mistake. I used interfacing on the inside of this to put on the back of the stitching, and when I went to go iron the ends and stuff, it actually stuck. So I ended up having to pry the two pieces apart. Thankfully, none of the stitching came out. It was a little nerve-wracking when I was doing it because I wasn't sure if I'd actually pull some of the stitches out, and that would have been a disaster. But I didn't. And then I just took some needle and thread and tacked this little beads down. I think on her picture that she had, they were going this way and they were actual buttons. But all I had were these little, I don't know what these are called, little, you make fobs and things with them, alphabet things. I just stitched it down onto the fabric as well as stitched the trim down here. I found some red pins that I stuck in the side and tacked it down here with the little ribbon, and I'm very pleased with it. I'm not the greatest stitcher by hand, so it's not perfect, but like I said, it's just for our little table out there. Might be a little more picky if I was giving it to someone else, but for our purposes, I think it's great. So I hope you're hearing me. I'm going to move this mic a little bit just so that it's a little closer to me. Sorry about that, but hopefully you're hearing it well, and when I put the video together, I'll make sure that the volume is up if not. So that was something that I started and was able to finish. So I was glad to have a finish. A friend had a birthday also during the month of August. That's my neighbor, and I wanted to make her something. I'll slip in a picture here of what I ended up making, just a simple blanket that I put together with the it's like minky on the back. So that was a fun finish also, but don't actually have it here to share with you because I gifted it. And like I said before, I tend to make things and give them away because you can only keep so many things, right? So that was a finish, and I also started something that I'll share with you that's hopefully going to be gifted also to my daughter. She has a dog that had a birthday,
So I started the same kind of a blanket with the flannel and the minky is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to finish sewing this together for her puppy, and it will be a nice little blanket. And we're actually going to be watching, Duchess is her name, here in the next few weeks. So hopefully have that finished in time for her visit, and this can be her little blanket that she lays on. She's a very sweet dog. She's up there in years though, so wanted to have something comfy for her to sit on. So that is a project, a whip that I am actually working on. So that was also another project I wanted to share. Um, Also, what happened between last time and now was the plain old quilt show that I ended up going with the same friend that I met in McKinney. We spent the day in Plano and looked at all the things, and one of the videos that I'll be inserting will have some of the things that I purchased there. Um, but it was good to see all the quilts. It kind of got me in the mood to get more projects finished and started as well that I'll be sharing here shortly. But I've always loved sewing, and seeing the quilts kind of keeps me motivated. So that was a fun day that we had also. And one of the things, I probably share it with my whips. Um, a friend let me borrow a pattern that I finished kitting up, so I will share that shortly. Let's move on. I guess with the haul that I inserted, let me go ahead and share just a couple things that ended up coming between now and then that I don't think I made a video of. That's keeping it straight for 4 weeks is kind of what I've been challenged with lately. But I've been trying to get my fabrics, and I'll insert some pictures here. I moved them out of my cabinet and put them on the wall here with the bookshelf. But now what I want to do with that is um, sort them by their counts. And a lot of people are using these comic book boards. So I've got, I forget how many's in here, 100 boards. So hopefully I don't have that many fabrics, so I'll definitely have extra. But I want to wrap them like they are, and these are the acid-free comic book boards that I want to store my fabrics on. So that's why I purchased that. I'll just set these things back here. I went to, well, the friend that I mentioned, she was able to find me the Country Samplers magazine that she was, the Country Stitchers was, her home was featured in this episode. So I've been looking for this for a while. So I was very grateful that she was able to find it. I remember, did she say she went to Barnes and Nobles, I think is where she got it. So I don't have one nearby, so I was grateful that she was able to get that for me. And if you're interested in seeing, um, it's Deb's home, not Liz, from Country Stitchers. So it was kind of a neat thing to see that she was featured in there, and I wanted to actually get that. So that was another purchase. I went to Walmart as usual when I'm out and about and found a few fabrics. Um, this will be a gift item as well, but I needed something that had dogs and cats on it, so I found a few fat quarters of that and some, what are these called? 2.5 inch strips. So that was another purchase from Walmart, as well as, you've probably seen these before, but they come out every year. And now that we're getting into fall, put a little decorations up. I found and bought about 3 bags of these because what I'm thinking, besides decor purposes, I've taken a few apart, and I think these will make the perfect little finish for stitching. So that's the reason I bought them, because I have plenty of decor already that I have up in the attic, so I really don't need to decorate with these. I purposely bought them to keep them for finishes. And then, of course, I just decided to hang a few behind me for the holiday now that we're starting to cool down. Today's supposed to be 107. But tomorrow we're down to 96, and maybe by Tuesday we'll be in the 80s. So we are getting excited for some cooler weather finally here in Texas. So those were a few more calls, as well as I went to, oh, and bought some little, I guess these are like stickers. Thought I could use those on something. But I went to 123 Stitch last week, I guess it was, spending some of my birthday money. And I've been wanting one of these bags for a while. And of course, I had to get the mint color. But these are nice size. These are those Lori Holt zip bags that you can actually stitch on. So that is a plan as well. I'm not sure if I'll put my initials or something, but I went ahead and got one of those bags. That was fun. And then, let's see, what else do I have in front of me? I did order from P&B Creations, I think is, I don't have the card right here, but it's on Etsy. But they make floss rings and tags, and maybe when I get to the project, I'll show you the what floss bobbins, I guess is what they're called. So I had a bunch of those made, and I'll insert a picture of all the different things that I was able to get. But Floss Boss and Cousins, I guess they've been making a few things from theirs, as well as you can get some from Just Keep Stitching. They have different things, or you can, I think she actually has ones where you can put your own initials and things on. So I did end up getting a few for myself with my little initial, put it on my scissors. I thought they were very cute. And gifted some, so that was fun to find a few for some other people as well. Bag. I don't lose anything because those are my scissors that I use all the time. And a Walmart find that I found were these little bowls. I think they're from, oh, I can't think of her name. She cooks. It's her brand. Might be on the bottom here. I can't really read it. I want to say it starts with a P. But anyway, I thought they were the cutest little bowls, of course, in my mint color. I gifted some and kept some for myself. But I think it was Katie from So Tattered posted a picture on her Instagram and how she used it, because I gifted one to her. But she put a little pin cushion in it. So I think I'm going to have to copy that, Katie. It was just too cute. Right now I keep my thimble and my little pin cushion when I'm doing my hand sewing for the doll quilt that I'm doing. That's kind of what I've been using it for right now. But I just thought it was a cute little bowl, and they're not that expensive either. So if you're looking for something like that for a cute pincushion idea, Walmart. So that was another purchase. I think we'll stop with the purchases right now and keep going on the rest of the things that's happened this month. I did mention Susan Stanley's doll quilt that I'm doing. It didn't get a lot of attention this last month because another project came in my view, and I had to stop and do that. But I will continue doing that because, like I said before, I think Sundays I like to sit and do that and listen to Susan Stanley's stitching stories. They're about the girls back in the 1800s. So it's really been relaxing for me to do it on a Sunday. So I will continue that, and as I get updates, I'll put those in. And usually, if you watch my Instagram, you'll see a lot of the things that I do throughout the month. So I'm not going to share it all here. At least I don't think I will. But we'll keep going here. We have, let's see, I did a few crafty room things. Like I said, I moved some things around and started sorting my fabrics. So I got a lot of my fabrics organized differently, where I've got like half yard cuts in one area, fat quarters in another, just so that I know where to go, because certain things that I sew on, I need those particular lengths, and kind of organize the bins a little bit better. So if I had a video, I'll go ahead and insert it there. But
Well, it's been a month since I've had my clean out of my craft room, and there's been a few changes. space-wise, I needed to figure out a better working space for the desk area. And I brought in my 3D printer. Not sure if those will stay on the wall or not. I've had some issues with them falling, so hopefully they will be up there tomorrow morning when I get up. But I have my diamond painting here now with my 3D printer. Supplies still in the same places on the walls. I've added, and I still have to cover this one, but for a design board so I can put some of my blocks up here, I wanted to use that wall for that. Cleaned up my ribbons a little bit. Instead of having them hang in the closet, I just took some spare ribbon and used the empty containers for finishing ribbons and stuff like that. That's in here, the top, as well as cording on the top row. These ones here and a few here for cording. And then these are 100% wools. And then I've started a collection of my pearl cottons, so I've still got a couple more drawers to fill for those. Beading and supplies like that are down in here with a few crochet items. And my yarn is still in these drawers here. Flosstube extra haul and stuff I've collected here. And then, of course, my sergers over here with my books. Trying to figure out my fabrics here. Got yardage as well as packs of fabrics. Fat quarters, that's what those are. So I'm going to try to figure out the best storage solution for those, because most of these are full, but I might have to organize those and figure out a better system how to store those. Featherweight, been mending some things here. Cross stitch fabrics still there. I did move some things over here. Got some lights off now, but took this off the desk and brought them over here. I got to put this stuff away, but that'll leave this space here for beading and floss tags, kind of stuff like that I want to do. I'll have a little space here for that. I did a little bit of crochet, so let me share that here now. Kind of document. Made a few gifts, so I don't have those, so let me insert a picture here of what those were, and I just thought they were so cute. I think it's the North Stitch on YouTube is where I got the pattern, and now that it's, like I said, fall and that time of the year, I thought these would make cute little coasters, so I did make a few of those and gifted those to some friends, stitchy friends. So I had to try, and of course got to making a few of them, and I thought, well, I'll go ahead and make them for some stitchy friends and pass those on, so I don't have them to show. And then another crochet project that I picked up, and it's been quite a few years also. I don't think I have a date on it. Maybe I do. The pattern is also a YouTuber called Bago Day Crochet. And I forget her first name, but I started this back in May of 2021. And I set it aside like I do most of my projects. But it's gotten a little ways, and I really wanted to pick it back up and start it again. Hopefully it can be a Christmas gift for someone. But I will share where I'm at so that each time I bring it out, you'll hopefully see some progress on it. The name of the pattern, if you're looking on her site, it's called Crochet Summer Shawl. So I noticed in my Happy Planner how many times I picked it up. So I was glad that I got a little bit more work done on it. I had to rewind the video quite often to see where I was at, but I'll share without tangling up too much what it looks like. It's really long, so it will be cute. It almost looks like spider webs to me.
but I liked the pattern and had to try it. And coming along really good. I might insert some pictures here if I've got better pictures that I've taken as I've been working on it. But I am very pleased with how that's turning out. And I will keep going. It probably needs quite a few more rows. It's an 11 row repeat. So after you do 11 rows, you start back with row 1. So, and I'm using a 5.5-inch hook. Keep it here in this little bag while it's small. Got one of my 5.5 Addy hooks, but I just keep it in this little bag. And when this ball gets empty, I have another one. So roll it up here real quick. Put it back in the bag so it doesn't get tangled. Already starting to do. There we go. That was fun, and it's fun to have it sit next to a chair. I've been taking it with me when I go somewhere so that I have it. Like we were up at the lake, so I did bring it there and worked on it in the car ride. Easy things to pull out when I'm out and about in the car. And my husband's doing the driving, of course. So that is one of the crochet projects that I worked on this past month. Back here, out of the way. Like I said, I think we'll move on to some of the sampler September things that I picked up, because we're pretty much down to the end of the month, moving into the 1st of September. So I was planning out all of my samplers, so I had to go through all of my charts and look and see, you know, all the ones that I wanted to try and plan out in my planner. And I came up with quite a few. Got my mic on here, sorry if it's too close. But I put them all in this little container, and then what I did is put them in the order that I want to do them, and they're all only going to be getting maybe 2 to 3 days work on them. I took Saturdays off, but I found a little calendar that I already had, and what I did is just marked on the calendar each day. On this side I put all the projects that I found in my whips, and then all the ones that were newly purchased that I wanted to be sure and start. They're on the calendar, and like I said, today's the 8th, so I've worked on 1, 2, 3 so far, and 2 of them were new starts and 1 of them was a whip. So I'm going to share those now, and then today I need to start a whip. So what I try to do is start with a new start a couple days, then I pulled out a whip that I had already started, and then today I'll be pulling out another whip. So every other is kind of what I'm doing. So there's quite a few. If I wrote down how many new and how many, actually I've got 4 new starts this month, hopefully, if I can stay on schedule. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 whips. So that way I at least touch them a little bit before I put them back in their little bags. And then I did find a few more that I just had to purchase the 1, 2, 3 stitch. So I'm going to try to squeeze those ones in as well, and I'll be sharing those shortly. But in my plans, I will pull or share with you where I got on the 3 that I've worked on so far. And like I said, Caroline Carter 1823 was the first one that I pulled, and it was a new start for me. I'll share what that is here. And I'm using a few NPIs, 1 Silken Colors, and a Trenway silk. That's kind of, oh, and then Krynic silks. So there's a few NPIs, a few Krynics, but I did want to do it in silk because I really wanted to try. So let me share where I am, how much I got done. And I started with the border. Let's see if I've got my board here. Yeah, I do. Get my board. can see I started, it's 3 rows really, but it looks like 2. But I went across, back, and across again, and then started going down. I didn't say what I'm using here. The fabric is a 18 count vintage country mocha, and I started it on the 5th of August. So that was fun. I thought I'd start on the 1st like everyone else, but by the time I got them all organized and written in my sampler, in my calendar, yeah, it was the 5th. So, but I am glad to get some of these finished. So let me set all these together so I don't get them confused. This wood though, because it does help. So that got worked on 3 days actually. And then I pulled out a whip that I've been working on, and you've all seen it before, Coming to America by Brenda Gervais. And I'm using a 40 count vintage country mocha. And I started this back in 2020 on September 6th. So it's kind of funny to look at my calendar that where did I set it? I guess I can move over to September here. Yeah, I pulled this out on the 4th, so 2020 to 2022, that was 3 years ago. It's not gotten much stitching on it since then. I think I've pulled it out a couple times, but not many at all. And these are the flosses I'm using. And there's a hashtag that goes along with this, hashtag 66 days of stitching back in September of 2020. And that was when the Mayflower sailed the ocean blue. And that's kind of why they started it, I think. Using a size 28 needle, it says, and I am using the called for colors. I'm pretty sure I didn't change them out. They all look like the ones that the kit came in. Let me grab this, pull it out here. I am very pleased with how it's looking. I pretty much only started on the anchor. If I can put it on here without too much difficulty, so that it shows nicely. But the border's coming along. I finished up a little bit of the bird. Let me get a little closer here. I finished like his feet and his eye, and then I did a lot of counting to get over here to the anchor. I think that's what that's going to be, as an anchor. Yeah. And then another day I pulled it out and did a little bit down here, started back on the border. So that's kind of where I'm at. And it's got touch, I can at least say, but it'll go back in its little box until the next time I pull it out. Make sure I take the needles off though when I put all these things away. So that was the second sampler September project that I worked on. And then I pulled out a new one. And these are the rings that I was talking about. I've got to take these other tags off. And I need to find out how everyone else does it. But the little wood ones, maybe there's some stickers that I can put on the back for the number of the DMC that I'm using. Right now I've just got a tag next to it saying what number it is. So these are the ones that I had PNB Creations do, and I just had her put my initials on them. That was so cute. And I will pull these off when the project is done, but for this one anyways, it's probably not going to get put away because I do want to get this finished in a timely manner. I don't want it getting stuffed in the closet because this will be my sampler wall finish if I can. But she also put them on this big ring with a little fob with scissors, which I thought was so cute. She asked me my favorite color, and of course I had to tell her aqua or any blues would be perfect. A little heart. So I love it. And since this one is going to stay out on my stand, I'll be always looking at it, so that will be fun. So I will also share, oops, did I lose the magnet? No. 2 more things that came with the floss bobbins were like a little needle keep. I got one of those. says stitch, 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 which matches the one that I have on my scissors with the needle and thread. But let me see, I probably got this upside down. I started the border on this pattern, and it's really going very fast. When I sit down to stitch, I was very surprised how quickly on 40 count, because that's what I'm using. I misplaced my paper for it, but pretty sure it's a 40 count. I wrote it somewhere and I don't see it. I want to say Vintage Country Mocha, but I'm not positive now. I'll have to put it below because I could have swore I had my card here, but I don't see it. It's not in there. This says picture this plus ale, but I don't think I could find the called for, so I looked and grabbed what I had in my stash. But this is just the DMC color 310 that I've started with. And like I said, my magnifier, I can look right into there and pull that out. So this was one that I just pulled out this past week when I was at a sit and stitch. But I'm going to start this, and I was very pleased. I got to spend over an hour on it. It was good for me. And then this morning I tried to pull it out again, and I'll be pulling it out tonight. So if I can maybe even put 15 to 30 minutes in it whenever I pull out my needles, then I'll be happy. So that was that one, and then like I said, today's the 8th, so I'm supposed to pull out another one, which is a whip, and I'll just share where I'm at, and hopefully next time we get together I'll have a little bit further along. It's the first day of Christmas. Hello from Liz Matthews, and I'm using my own conversion of some DMC silks that I purchased, and I really need help on how do you keep these on the floss bobbins. What's the easiest way to store silks? These are the colors I'm using, and I am using the called for 40 count fog. So this is how far I am, and I'm hoping to get a little bit more. I think it goes like this, a little bit more on there. I think that's how that, yeah. Come across here and keep going, but that's the border. And on 40 count, apparently it's not going to be very big. I hope I didn't start too far down. That's that one that we'll get some work on today, and probably not tomorrow, but Sunday and Monday, hopefully I can get at least 3 days on that. That's my sampler September projects so far. I did post a video of all of the samplers that I am doing this month, and at least touching. So if you want to see that on my YouTube, I think it's just called Samplers, but it's in my playlist if you're interested in the other ones. I'm going to set this off to the side. I might have to take my mic and put it somewhere else. Well, maybe I'll just keep it on here. But I don't want to move it too far away because I'm hoping you can hear me. We will figure it out. All right. So let's go back here. I'll just set this down here and share maybe the rug hooking that I got done this last month. I was able to take it to the quilt shop on Wednesday that I go to in Carrollton, and I actually got him outlined all the way around. I don't know if you're seeing it. Make sure you're seeing it. Still have it on the stand because I don't like to take it off every time. But I went around and made sure he got his body, and we're going to just come back and forth. I think I'll fill him in all the way as I go, and then from there I'll come and start the back. But it's been fun to get to know how to do this. It's, I guess, similar to punch needle, but you punch differently. I think you pull up with the rug hooking, and for punch needle you're stabbing and pushing down. But I actually prefer this over punch needle from what I've seen. I've never tried punch needle, but that's my back. I'm very pleased. My other back with the yarn that I have, the project,
a lot messier. Of course, it was the first time try, but I am going to stick with that one too. But this is the one lately I've been working on, especially with the heat that we've had. Let me set that down here. So that's my rug hooking progress, as well as while we were all at the stitch in at Boxcar, because it's a monthly thing that we do now. There's four of us, five including me, that were there the first time they had it was a month ago. So I got to meet Katie from So Tattered, so she's been attending, as well as Rita and Trish and oops, sorry, um, Katie's mom was there as well. So Katie and her mom, so the four of us and four of them and one of me. We all were there again this last month, so it was fun to see them again and have a group of stitchy friends that I'm enjoying at the Boxcar Quilts, as well as the ones in Carrollton that I meet with. So I am loving branching out into some different areas, which is fun for me because I'm normally just at home. So, like I said, they have a table that said free. So I had to go over and look, of course, and found a couple patterns that, of course, I had to get this one because I love Pat Sloan's patterns, and that's kind of when I got back into quilting. I used to sew, like I said, in high school, but when my friend introduced me to quilting, Pat Sloan was one of the first ones that I started following and finding patterns for. So they had this little one called Blueberry Cobbler. I grabbed that, and I don't think I have it in any of my patterns from her already. And actually, the other day when I watch her YouTubes, they're live in the mornings. You can chat and watch her video, and she was on there, and I had mentioned to her that I found this, and she said, "That's an old one." And so I looked on the back, and it's 2003, so it's 20 years old. So I was very, very glad to find that. And it doesn't look like it's too hard. You only need 3 yards of backing, half a yard for the inner borders, and just 3 to 4 blue prints and 3 to 4 yellow prints, a third of a yard for the stripe, and 3/4 of a yard for the border. So hopefully I can look into doing that. I mean, kind of looks like kitty cats to me on both ends, or someone said bats, but I thought it was cute, so I thought I would grab that one, as well as another one that I'm just loving the colors for this time of year as well. But I've never heard of Heart Spun Quilts, and the name on it says Maisie M. I'm not sure if that's the name of the pattern, which I'm assuming, but I just love the look of that. And I love fall. It's one of my favorite times of the year. I'm a fall girl, so those two were new freebies as well, so that was fun to find. Um, let's go ahead and move back into maybe some plans that I have. Um, while we were at the stitch-in, they have like show and tell, I guess. So I was able to bring this little finish that I had done and share that with the group. So that was also fun. I still need to get it into a frame, but it's ready. I need to have a month for finishing because there's a few back under my table that I really would like to display. So especially this year with Christmas and stuff, I'd like to have this one finished. So hopefully in the next couple months we'll have some finishes, fully finishes. So let's move over here. Let me grab these. These are what am I calling this? I guess plans, as well as, like I mentioned, I found a few more samplers that I'd like to try and stick in somewhere this month if I can. Here, misplace anything. I'll start with a couple finishes that I did this last month for gifts, so I don't have them. I'll slip in some pictures here of what they turned out looking like and share that I've had this for a couple years now, and I'm not sure what count, but it's almost like a ribbon. I could probably use this like a around a drum or something if I'm stitching. Just have to figure out count and how many threads. But I used wool on the two that I gifted from my stash that I had. Some of it was anchor wool that I had collected, and I thought I'd just initial and put them on here and cut them, and they can either sew it onto something or just display it. But I just thought it would be a cute little finish, and I wanted to kind of test what it was like to stitch with the wool. It wasn't too hard, depending on. I mean, this doesn't look like even weave to me. It looks like it's kind of all over the place. So you really have to pay attention when you're 1/2, that kind of a thing. But I enjoyed doing that, and this is the wool. It's actually, this is a Persian wool that I used, virgin wool. So I am planning to make a few more as gifts, and maybe even one for me with my initials on it. But I'd like to save some of this fabric though for. I've seen how people are doing drums and stuff. I'd like to try something on it. So those are some colors and things that I'd like to try and see how many DMC strands I can use, because it is kind of a big hole. So I'm thinking I would have to use 3 or 4 maybe. Just depends. I'll start with 2 and see what kind of coverage it gets. But what I did is I went to my stash to find a sampler book. This is Blackbird Designs, but it has the ABCs, and like the one with that I did the K on, I really like the style of that. So that's kind of what I was looking for, and I just looked at this pattern and drew it the way I thought it should look. So I'll keep this with these together in a bag, and that will be just a small, easy stitch thing that I can do quickly if I need something. So that's in my plans. These are also some whips that I did work on this past month that I thought I would go ahead and share. This is the Blackbird one that I'm doing just the top for Lisa's birthday sale, Blackbird birthday sale, Lisa from Lost in Stitches. And it's out of this book, The Sewing Club. And if I have a better picture, I'll stick it in here, how it's turning out. I am just using a few DMCs in the colors that matched. And I was able to get a couple more board here. A couple more berries done, I guess. Up in here. I guess this is the top actually. So I did a few more berries down in there. And if I remember, I'll put in a picture of what it was the last time I showed it. So I like to plug away a little at a time on different things. Sampler September is kind of taking a bulk of my stitching, but I do like it when I can get a few more in here and there. And then the next one was I'll be putting all this away probably tomorrow. Was the August one from Country Cottage Needleworks. And I'm using a 28 count even weave. I started this on, well, I kitted it back in July 8th. And I pulled it out again here in August. And I started it, date did I start it? I should have put it here. I think I started this, sorry, I'm looking down again. This one is the August stitch. If I can find it quickly, because I didn't write it on my card and I should have. I think it was the last day of August. Yes, the 30th. I'm going to write that down here real quick. Like one day before the end of the month, and I started. But at least it's started. That's the only way it's going to get finished, right? And I am using my own conversion, which are all DMCs. Got them on a ring, and I've just been making my own floss tags lately. Those are the colors, and this is how far I got. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the last time I showed it. I think I did the green leaves. Not sure which way this is going to go. I have to look at the picture. Yeah, this is
how it's looking. My board handy. Not seeing a whole lot, but that is the border top that I've started, and that's about how big it's going to be on this fabric. So I'll have quite a bit of fabric left over for something else, but that's been a fun stitch. 28 count's not too hard for me either. I enjoy how it goes through the fabric on 28 count. So that was another one that got worked on. These next ones are ones during, I think it's called Market, where LNSs go on and purchase things from the designers. And so when that was going on, there was a few freebies that came out. Pretty sure that's how I got these. And my plans, hopefully because they're smalls, they won't take too long, but I'd like to get these ones started as well. And I'm just using a DMC red, and these are freebies, so I think I can share these. This is a JDW Designs, I think is who this is. It's the stocking, and I'm planning to use a 28 count even weave because I have a huge piece of 28 count mushroom. I thought that red would look pretty on that for a little stocking finish. A few of the floss tubers I've been watching actually showed a finish of this one as well as this strawberry urn made into a pillow. I think it was Jessica from Sweetwater Stitcher, if I'm not mistaken. I think she showed a finish of that, but I've watched so many floss tubes lately, so I could be mistaken. That's my TV anymore, so I've been sharing that on my Instagram too, of the different ones that I watch, in case anybody's interested in some new floss tours as well as some older ones that I just love. So that's also in my plans. And then, like I said, I did go to 123 Stitch and purchase a few things. Not sure if it was in the video haul or not, but I had to get this one as well as some fabric to do it on because there's quite a few in here I'd like to do, but I think Keeper of the Pins was no, Needle and Thread was the one I really wanted to do, but with my needle and thread, yeah, Brenda Gervais, of course. Had to get that little book as well as the fabric I'm going to put it on is a 36 count country mocha, vintage country mocha. So that will be fun to do, and the one I'm thinking of without showing the pattern, I don't want to show the pattern, is the pillow called Needle and Thread. That's after making that first pillow, I really enjoyed it, so I think I would like to do that one. I mean, I'd like to do them all, but that one first, and maybe the pin cushions. I'm just or the one with the ABCs. They're all just so beautiful. Or the tomatoes, that one's a cute one too. So I purchased that from 123 Stitch. That was one of the ones that I picked up. And then I think it was Shelly from Antique Needleworkers is doing a stitch along, and I'll put what that is below because right now I can't think of it. But it's with this pattern from Jan Hicks Creates. And of course it's Stitching with Friends, and that's what I've been all about lately. So when she said there was a couple more days in August before they were doing it the month of August. Of course, I'm late to the game, but I had to at least find the pattern and get the fabric for it. Didn't have the called for, and I'd like it not to be so big either. So I went ahead and got two different ones that I'm debating. I think this greener one's going to be too dark, but I purchased it the 35 count, but I think the green might not work with the colors. So I also got a 40 count in a really a lighter color, but I think all the colors will pop on this one. So kind of veering towards this one instead of the green one, and maybe save that one for another project. So thoughts, what y'all think, what would look better? But I am going to start that one, and this is one of the ones as well as the Keeper of the Pins one
that I'd like to squeeze in somewhere in my sampler September starts. And then, like I mentioned, when I went to the quilt show, this is the pattern I was talking about. Someone let me borrow. So I finished kitting it up and I got it in this little bag here. And I've decided probably to use, because it might be a little dark, I'm not sure. It's a 28 count Egyptian sand. Mountain Air Egyptian sand is what it says, but it's plenty big enough. And the colors that I've got for it, I think will come out fine on it. But it's the Strawberry Fields Blackbird Designs. This was the one that Lisa was actually doing for her birthday start. So that's what got me interested in it. And when my friend from the quilt shop mentioned she had it and would let me borrow it, I decided to go ahead and finish kitting it up. So it is all kitted and ready to go. So 3 to try and squeeze in this month. It's lofty goal, but I'm hoping to at least start them. So we will see if I can get it organized enough. Maybe one of the Saturdays I'm not so busy. Since I don't have anything scheduled on those Saturdays, I can start one each Saturday the next 3 weeks is maybe what I'll end up doing, and I'll put that in my plans. So that's the plans for now, as well as I picked this up, or it was gifted to me at the quilt show from one of the friends, and I'd like to try and make a pumpkin pincushion. Depending on how big it is, it actually might fit in that little bowl, or I'll display it on a stand. We'll see. But I've never done anything like this before, so thankfully it has the instructions and it's the fall colors and it comes with the finishing things, so I'm hoping to figure it out. I think there's a better picture in here. Grab it. And how they finished it. I thought that was really cute. But for the fall, I think I tend to be a stitch in the season kind of a person because it gets me in the mood. So that's the other plan. And then I guess lastly, we'll just go to the last thing that I've worked on. We're only in a week of the month, but it'll keep me busy the rest of the month with all these other things that I've talked about. Like I mentioned, getting to know Katie has been fun, and watching and seeing all the things that she posts makes me drool. Because, like I said, I'm a fall girl, and all those colors just really speak to me. So, her and I think it's Tiger Lily Designs. The other one's Ginger Hall, Team Egger, and Katie's mom, um, Carolyn, living in Yokelville, I think is her handle on IG. I'll put it all in the description box, but I think those 5, and Shelly from Antique Needleworkers, all those are doing, um, oh, I can't think of the name of it, something in coal. It's hashtag CC2 layer, double layer cake, quilt along or something like that. I'll put it below. But they're using that particular fabric, and that really attracted me. So I had to think about if I use a layer cake, if I wanted to go and buy the layer cake or look and see what I had in my stash already. And that's kind of what I ended up doing, was using what the layer cake from my own stash, because it was the Rustic Gatherings, which is all of the fall colors. I had the layer cake, and I'll share with you what I've gotten done so far. But so I pulled that out and decided to use that, and I wanted to do a backing that was similar to the coal fabrics. I think it's Pam Buddha. They're reproduction fabrics, which, oh my goodness, I just love. And the shop that I mentioned in McKinney, they sell all that stuff. So one day this last week, when I decided I was going to go ahead and jump into the quilt along, I thought I still have some birthday money left. I'll go and get the backing and the binding. So when I got there, I couldn't help myself. I do have from Rustic Gatherings a yard of fabric that I could also use for the binding. But they also had this black one that I thought went so well with the backing that I want to use at 5 yards. I couldn't help myself. And I think it was only 11 or $12 a yard. I want to say 11, but so I went ahead and got 5 yards of that, and I'll decide whether to use the Rustic Gathering. It's a gray. I'll insert a picture here of the choices, or the black one for the binding. I think the black brings it out a little more, but I'll also share the blocks so far where I've gotten. It's been fun. It's a tutorial by Chicken Scratch, CHICN Scratch. I don't know her first name, but she has the tutorial that So Tattered Katie had mentioned on her Flosstube, and that's kind of what got me started. I was like, I gotta go see how easy this is, because I think I mentioned I picked this up from a friend at the quilt shop that I go to on most Wednesdays, but it's probably beyond my level. So I probably won't be doing this one, and that's why I started this other one, because Katie said, I could do it. So I'm trusting that I can, and it's been fun. The step by step is how I learn. So going through and doing that is kind of what I'm doing. And I'll share, I'm at step 6 or 7 right now, and these are the Rustic Gathering, and I'm at the point where I'm putting the blocks together. I've got them all sewn together and pressed. I got to press them open still, but these are some of the blocks that are completed. I have pressed some open, but these are the ones left that I have to do. Hoping that's showing up. So a couple more in the blacks and the whites that I'm just so pleased with. I think it'll turn out nicely. And like I said, I've never done a full-size quilt like this before. So I've done the baby quilt for my grandbaby, and it was just simply done, but those are ready to press open and keep going. And then these down here, if I can grab them, I got them on a cutting board, a very large cutting board, to keep them nice and flat. Oops, these are falling off the table. These are some of the other colors. I'm just really pleased with how it's turning out so far. I never realized how particular I am, though, because the way things lay, I think I'm going to be getting out my flannel tablecloth, like the tutorial talks about how she lays them out, just to make sure you want them the way you like them. So this will be my fall quilt, my very first one. So I'm very excited to be doing this. And it does help knowing other people that are doing it, because it keeps me motivated. So that's pretty much it for Flosstube 18, I think. Oh, one more thing I just looked over and forgot. Alicia from the Fanciful Flamingo has a box subscription out now, and mine has arrived. And I will insert a video here at the end of unboxing it and what's in it. I won't do that here, but I was just so excited that she had started something like that and had to be a part of it. So, is that called FOMO? So I did go ahead and purchase this one. It's got a Zoom that we can all join in and stitch on the project that's in here. So I'm excited to get back to doing that as well, because it's all about the community, right? I'm loving it all. So I appreciate you being with me, and I love sharing. Besides the plans that I mentioned, I'm still in process of the project bags. I'd like to make one for each project that I'm doing, so that's just an ongoing thing for me. So I am excited to just keep crafting, and hope you all have a wonderful weekend and get this uploaded soon. We'll see you next time.
What's up?
See Mommy waving? Say hi.
Oh my goodness. Hi.
thinking about it.
We bounced up.
You made a mess of Grandma's house already.
I'm alright, Mama. But take her
Are you going to clean it up or do I have to on my birthday? Yeah, the cat laughs even. Like, yeah, right. I'm not going to clean that up.